That's the way Lincoln looks at him. He's just too afraid to take. He's not aggressive enough. And in 1864, he's going to campaign on the presidential ticket for peace. He's going to be the peace candidate in 1864. Lee is the mastermind. He's the great general of the Civil War, by far. Lee is the tactician, and he manages to do with the Southern Army what no Northern general really can do with the Northern Army. But he's the greatest general of the Civil War by far. McClellan is basically fired and replaced eventually with Grant and other people. The turning point, the only battle that you're liable to run into is Antietam. You run into Antietam because Lincoln is looking for a victory. He basically wants to issue the Emancipation Proclamation. He wants to, ennoble the war by giving it a much more moral cause of righteousness, and he also wants to keep the British. Let's look at this in purely diplomatic standpoint. The British are the first country in the world to ban and outlaw slavery. They run anti-slave ships around the coast of Africa to stop slave ships and send the slaves back to their homeland in Africa and Liberia and Sierra Leone. When Lincoln issues the Emancipation Proclamation, which, by the way, I hope you all know, frees no slaves, right? Frees slaves where the Confederates controlled territory, does not free slaves where the Northerners controlled slave territory. All the slaves that could be freed are not free. All the slaves that can't be freed are free. But it states a goal. From this point on, the Civil War is about freeing the slaves, and because the British are the world's champions in the abolition of slavery, it makes it nearly impossible for the British to ally themselves with the South. Now that the North has come out with the Emancipation Proclamation, I just don't see how the Great Britain can possibly ally itself with the South. And the battle, now this is a battle in Maryland, which is Union-held territory. This is one of those cases where Lee comes out of the South, comes out of Virginia, and he's going to try to encircle Washington and encircle the Union, and he goes to Antietam, and he gets defeated at Antietam. It's a very, very bloody war, bloody battle. Matter of fact, the bloodiest day of the Civil War is at Antietam. And at this battle, the British also realized the South is not going to win. So on the one hand, the North has declared slavery, the abolition of slavery is their goal, and on the other hand, they aren't going to win. So from this point on, the alliance thing is dead, and that's why the Battle of Antietam is the only battle